This is an action RPG with roguelike elements that lets you play as a ranger fighting against demons. When you start, you pick between 3 basic loadouts. You can go with an axe and shield for melee, a bow for ranged combat, or a staff if you want to be a spellcaster. In this game, you are not locked into any of these classes, because you can combine equipment as you see fit. The game world is split into different biomes. You start in a grassland area and then move through forests, deserts, mountains, and eventually reach a volcano where the final boss hangs out. As you explore, you will find these obelisks that have the potential to permanently boost your stats, and shrines that give you temporary buffs. There are also dungeons scattered around that are randomly generated each time you enter them. While the combat works well most of the time, the weapon sounds, especially the ranged attacks, could use some better sound effects. Ranged damage seems to be a bit overtuned as well when compared to melee, making the game almost seem a bit too easy for a roguelike. Now, the leveling system is pretty interesting. When you level up, you get 2 choices. First, you pick one stat boost from 4 random options. These could be small or large increases. Then you choose between 4 different skills, which can be either passive abilities or active combat moves. You can build your character however you want. You can go all in on archery, mix magic with melee, whatever works for you. Here's the catch. When you die, that character is gone for good. So it's basically a permadeath system. You start fresh with a new ranger at level 1, but not everything is lost. You keep half your gold, anything you stored in the chest, and all permanent upgrades. This makes each new character start stronger than the last. Near the end of the game, there's this altar where you can spend special coins dropped by elite enemies to get super powerful gear. The game uses this visual style where the world is 3D, but the characters and enemies are 2D sprites. In terms of replayability, there's this endgame system where beating the final boss unlocks a counter. Each time you win, enemies get 10% tougher, and there's going to be a global leaderboard for who can beat the boss the most times. The world champion will actually have their name displayed in the game's main menu. It's worth noting that the game will not be an early access release. The price, on the other hand, is not known yet. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.